What's the craziest secret you found out about your best friend? Jealousy isn't always loud. Sometimes it hides behind the warmest smile, the tightest hug, the words that sound just right. I learned that the hard way, with a betrayal that came not from a stranger or a rival, but from the person I once trusted the most. Mia. For years Mia was my anchor. We met in middle school, two awkward girls drawn together by a shared love of old music and doodling our dreams in the margins of textbooks. She had an easy charm, sarcastic, funny, always ready to defend me from bullies or talk me down from panic. By high school we were inseparable. People called us the twins, not because we looked alike, but because we moved through the world like we were one. She knew everything about me, my fears, my secrets, my goals. I let her into every corner of my life without hesitation. When I landed my internship at the local magazine, she was the first to scream with joy. When I got my heart broken sophomore year, she brought me cupcakes and made me laugh until I cried. It never crossed my mind that Mia could be anything but safe. We planned our futures together. We'd get apartments in the same city, maybe even live together. She talked about opening a boutique. I'd write features on her for my magazine. We imagined double dates, shared vacations, a friendship that would never age. The first real crack in that image didn't come from a fight or a betrayal. It came from a moment I would only recognize in hindsight, a flicker of something unreadable in her eyes when I told her about Jared. Jared was different. He wasn't like the guys I'd dated before. He was thoughtful, attentive, and surprisingly serious about wanting something real. I met him at a campus reading, where he complimented my critique of a poem he hadn't even liked. He made me feel seen. And for once I didn't need to consult Mia before I let myself fall. She smiled when I introduced them, made jokes about how he was finally worthy of the queen. But something about the way she held her phone a second longer when I leaned in for a hug, or how she started skipping our weekly movie nights, it lingered like the echo of a bad dream. Still, I brushed it off. She was probably just adjusting, right? Everyone goes through a little awkwardness when their best friend starts dating. Besides, she had never been the clingy type. I gave her space. But there was a moment, small, fleeting, but now burned into memory, when I caught her watching us across the room at a party. Her smile didn't quite reach her eyes. And when Jared leaned in to kiss me, I swear I saw her flinch. That should have been a sign. Instead, I told myself, she's just tired. She's stressed. She's Mia. She would never. Because when someone is your best friend for nearly a decade, betrayal is the last thing you prepare for. So I kept letting her in. I told her when Jared first said he loved me. I laughed with her about how awkward he looked dancing at that wedding. I shared my growing dreams with her, about love, career, travel, never suspecting that with every word I was feeding a quiet resentment. And then came that night. It was just us, sitting in my apartment, sipping wine and talking about everything and nothing. The kind of night we'd had hundreds of times before. She was quiet, more than usual, but I chalked it up to stress. She had mentioned that work was overwhelming, that she felt stuck. I offered support, told her I believed in her, like always. Then, her phone buzzed. She glanced at it quickly, muttered something about needing to step outside. I didn't think anything of it, until I heard her voice. She thought she was far enough down the hallway, but